Hey, gorgeous souls. How are you today? First, let's see if Facebook will play nice or not. We're having all kinds of fun technical difficulties, which I think is very, what do we call it? Like, it's aligned with the times right now, right? We have this new moon energy, this eclipse energy, and we are in the pre-Mercury retrograde. So I think it's kind of funny how when we have all these things happening, like planetary, again, we don't have to give our power to them, but sometimes they'll show up in ways like this where Facebook is not playing nice lately and not letting people be live or only allowing so much of the video to show. So we'll see if this stays. If it doesn't, then, you know, whatever, it can go into the Facebook land of the abyss, and maybe I'll share a message again about this. So today I was doing a little writing and practice, and I have these cards that one of my mentors actually made as a project in her, I think, level 3 Kundalini yoga training. And they have Yogi Bhajan quotes on them and then other quotes on the back. So this one says, let go on the back. And then the quote is, the greatest progress in life is when you know your limitations and then you have the courage to drop them. And this really hit me hard this morning because, you know, I think about how many times in my life I have limited myself, and whether I was aware of the limitation or was in just straight denial of the limitation, it just made whatever progress I had going forward stall, or I stayed in the struggle mode, right? Or I was still suffering on the inside, even if things looked right on the outside, because again, our inner limitation is our own, right? You have yours, I have mine. Everybody has their own. Sometimes they look simple, right? Like something like, having like a mindset where you just are, you know, pessimistic, right? I had that for a long time, where I was pessimistic because I thought if I thought negative, then I never would be disappointed. So again, that's a limitation though, because it then makes you have negative experiences in your life because that's what you're expecting. So it didn't work out the way I wanted it to I'll just think negative, and then if something positive does happen, that'll be amazing, and I'll be actually not, you know, I'll be excited and not let down. But it didn't work like that. It was like I just kept creating negative experiences in my life. So everybody has their limitations, right? It could be mindset, it could be your body image, it could be addiction, it could be relationship stuff where maybe you just aren't allowing yourself to be loved, or where you're maybe codependent or a jealous person, right? So we all have our own inner limitations, and typically they're not just going to be one, right? But when we can really have the courage to step up and take personal responsibility for where we are in our life, based on the fact that if we're not where we desire to be, there's a reason we haven't allowed ourselves to get there, and then look at those limitations that are holding us back and say, okay, what do I need to do with this one right now, right? Is it that I need to reach out to a therapist and start seeing a therapist, right? Is it that I really just need to start doing the inner work? Should I start meditating to, you know, lower my anxiety? That's been a big thing for me, is having anxiety and depression, and them kind of, you know, back and forth cycling, depression, anxiety, and not really having ways to cope with them. So then I just coped the wrong way. And so for years now, with practicing, right, and doing the inner work and getting to the point where I can see my limitations, and, you know, it's not the space of denial anymore that you think when you're in denial of them, right? You already know what they are, right? We all know what they are. We know what's happening inside here. We might not tell others what they are, but the denial is like, it's like you're just shoving something down, right? And you're just putting it deeper into your energetic and physical and emotional system. And eventually it's going to erupt. So it's like we need to handle these limitations as we notice them and as they come to the surface to be processed. Because if we don't, we're just pushing off what's meant for us to be experienced fully in our lives. And we're creating and recreating these cycles and patterns that keep holding us back and keep us struggling and keep us suffering. And I can tell you, after, you know, going through the decades of I call it the inner shit show, right? And I still have moments, right? We all do. We're human. Duh, right? We have human moments, we have dark moments, we have sad moments, we have, you know, mindset moments that just tell us that we're not good enough. Everybody has their moments of whether it's self-doubt or fear or whatever it is. So here's the thing though. If you can see these limitations with the light, right? Shine and shed light on them, they're not going to hold you hostage, right? You allow these limitations to hold yourself hostage, but when you step up courageously and say, okay, this is where I am in my life right now, this is what's not working or what's limiting me, this is how it's holding me back, this is how it's affecting my life, and this is what I'm willing to do about it. You have to get to that point where being courageous, yes, can be scary, and yes, you might not know what's on the other side of it. Typically what we think is going to be on the other side of it isn't as bad as we think it is, right? We create these stories in our head of like, oh, well, if I don't do this anymore, that means I won't be able to hang out with any people anymore, right? Or we create whatever story it is that maybe if we do become successful, that we're somehow pushing others away or we should feel guilty. So everybody's story is their own. Everyone's limitation is your own, okay? So, but it's up to you to get to that place in your life when you say, okay, I get to choose right now if I'm going to take responsibility for this, or if I'm just going to let it keep playing out and keep happening over and over and keep cycling and then keep struggling, because that's what keeps happening, right? We keep making life more of a burden and more of a hardship than it is meant to be. And so I really want you to think about this in your life right now, where you're on your path progressing towards what are the inner limitations that are holding you back? And then what are you willing to do about them? Because if you're not willing to look at them and you're in denial of them and you're not willing to, again, step up, take the responsibility, change, then things are not going to change. It's just that simple, right? We have to be the one that initiates the change and then has all of this beautiful energy and support and guidance working with us and for us to help embrace these changes and transform to that next version of ourselves that is what we are meant to be experiencing. Right? So I just wanted to share that today and have you think about that, where you are on your path, where the limitations are, what maybe they stem from, what you can do about them. And if you are serious about the change and the transformation, really getting to that next version of you, that higher elevated level that you know you're meant for, then private message me and we can start doing one-to-one mentoring. This is really deep work. It will go into really seeing like why you have the cycles you have, what the patterns are that you keep repeating that keep holding you back, right? Keep limiting you. And then we will uproot those. We'll do some energy healing, some coaching. This is really about you getting to that place where you're in your power, right? You create the change. You find the answers within. I just help guide you there. And when we do this, it's for over a period of 2 months, a little over 2 months actually. And the first session that we do is literally hours together, virtually or in person, depending on where you live, where we really get you off on the right foot by saying, okay, what is it that you really want to achieve and what is really holding you back? And we start going deep into these pieces that sometimes we don't want to look at or we've been wanting to avoid looking at, but yet we know they're there. And so I help you to uproot them, to release them, to heal those spaces, to have a different mindset and perspective, to shift your energy, right? When we shift our energy into a higher vibration, we start creating a higher vibration around us, and that creates the environment that we actually are happy with, right? That's when we experience life fully and when we can truly authentically be ourselves and embrace all of who you are and your past and then create that future. So the first session is almost like a mini retreat. There's we'll be doing Kundalini yoga and a movement embodiment practice, coaching, energy healing, and then whatever else comes up that's necessary so that you have this initial like transformation happening that happens almost instantly and then sets you forth in divine alignment to move forward with the rest of our work time together, okay? So again, if you're ready to be done with the limitations and you know it's time to say, I am meant for this, right? I choose myself. I choose to step up, take responsibility, put myself on the path that I know I'm meant to be on without holding myself back any longer, then you need to private message me. I only have a few spots left of this one-to-one mentoring. And then the price is going up, or I might just not offer them. I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of feeling into that and seeing what happens after I have these other spots filled. So if this is calling to your heart and soul, I'm here for you. Message me and we will get you on the books. And I can tell you that if you commit to your growth and to your change and to your progress and to releasing the limitations, you will feel so liberated. You will have more confidence in yourself. You will feel more clear in your mind. You'll be able to really show up in your life as you want to instead of how you think you should be or you're supposed to be. And a lot of times what happens is you feel like you're living a more purposeful life, right? We want to feel like we're here on purpose and for a purpose, and you are. I can tell you that, okay? I truly believe that. I truly believe in you. I'm sending you so much love. And again, look at this, play it back. If it's not working, I don't know what to tell you. Facebook has been really funky lately. But just know that those limitations do not need to be with you forever, okay? I've got you. I'm here for you, and Sat Nam.